Keith Goodwin, what's up, buddy? I've had like 4 people reach out to me in the last couple of weeks, Keith, asking me for the super spun article, that service provider that I mentioned, and I keep referring them to you. So hopefully you're getting some orders coming through, man. Quick question, by the way, anybody that needs ever a super spun article, Keith Goodwin's the man to do it. He's got a great service. It's really, really good. Been using it for years. I haven't used it in quite some time because I don't do a whole lot of spam stuff anymore, but when I did, I used the hell out of it. So, but quick question on repurposing existing IFTTT networks. If I have a client that stops paying, can I repurpose existing IFTTT sites and use them to point at another site? Sure, you can. Is this more successful than starting fresh again? Yes, it is, because they're aged accounts. If you do 100% like retheme, what I mean by that, like, is if you change the main topic, like the primary topic of whatever that network was for, then I don't know. I don't have any hard data to prove this, but I've got I've got literally, hundreds of IFTTT networks, guys, and many of them were built. I mean, remember, I started doing this method like back in 2012. So I've still got networks that are still alive and kicking today, like syndicating today, that were built in 2012. And some of those networks have been completely rethemed 3 and 4 or 5 times. No kidding, over the years, because whatever project they were being used on ended up, we terminated the project, or, whatever the case may be. A lot of them were PBN networks. In other words, they were syndication networks around PBN sites that then later became video broadcasting sites. And then later that, all these different things. So a lot of the times those networks get repurposed. And I still think that they're better than a brand new one because there's age there. The accounts have been aged or seasoned, so to speak. So that's why, and I know, like I said, I just had, in fact, when we started building a few months ago, when I started working on our new contractor marketing agency, I went through my old list of PBN stuff because I let so many of them go. I let a lot of them just expire because I don't really use PBNs anymore. And I ended up with 95 syndication networks that were abandoned, that were just sitting there dormant, but they were all still live. Some of them had properties that were terminated and stuff like that. But I ended up having one of my VAs go through, and she went in and started reconnecting everything, updating everything, turning on applets. It took her like 3 weeks, and she got, I think, 50 or 55 of the networks connected to our YouTube channel for that project. We still got about another 40 or 45 in queue that are just on hold, that are just sitting there waiting for me to bring her back over to do that. So my point of telling you all this is that yes, they can be repurposed. Absolutely, they can be. If you keep them with the same theme, then they're going to be more powerful than if you retheme them. But again, my experience with an aged network is, regardless of whether it's rethemed or not, it's still more powerful than a brand new one. And yeah, guys, I bet a lot of you, any of you that have been using syndication networks for any period of time, you probably have syndication networks out there that aren't being utilized to their full potential. Like on projects maybe that you've abandoned or whatever. So go repurpose them, put them towards projects that you are still working on, that are current projects, because really there's no reason. I mean, again, I let so many of them just go. And then once I started going through my drive files and taking inventory of stuff that was available. I mean, could you imagine buying 95 syndication networks, how much that would cost, or how long it would take you to build them? And I had all these just sitting around. So definitely repurpose them if you're not using them. Okay. Yeah, if it's anything for clients, guys, like, well, first of all, if the client bought the network, I do not repurpose it. If I built supplemental networks to help rank their properties, but they wasn't stuff that they purchased, then yes, I'll repurpose those. But if they purchased a network from me and I built it for them, or I had it built for them and it was branded for them, then I don't repurpose. I don't reclaim that network. It's theirs. They paid for it. It's their asset. So just to be clear on that, guys, I'm not saying if a client decides they don't need me anymore that I go take their network back and then repurpose it, because that's not what I do. It's theirs. It's done. They keep it. Okay. It's only networks that I've used or built to help rank stuff that they haven't owned, so to speak, that I'll repurpose. All right. This is a great question, Keith.